to Connor Noble and Leslie, thank you very much for becoming channel members and supporting what I do here. The global pandemic has hit airlines hard, of course regarding scheduling difficulties, with most carriers operating at a reduced capacity to allow them to keep their operations somewhat sustainable. The hope was that after the pandemic, carriers would re-emerge. While beaten and battered, they'd also be in a place where they could reactivate services across the board and to maximum capacity. Obviously, hopefully, as soon as possible. However, labour shortages and many other reasons have prevented many carriers from doing so in recent months, and especially so in the upcoming months as well. Now, in Europe, KLM is making changes to their network for the future as operations become more complex and harder to sustain at their current rates. The airline, which is one of the oldest in the world, is actually restricting sales on many of their flights while also cancelling flights every single day, with flights being cancelled per day in the region of 20 for European markets. This, though, is possibly going to be changing, whether that's reducing or extending given the circumstances, which, as we know, are never the same. In addition, the airport KLM flies out of in Amsterdam simply cannot cope as well, being one of the driving forces leading KLM to make such a decision. Paired with also shortages at the airline themselves, it's made sustaining a high level of operations incredibly tricky, especially when considering that demand is continuing to rise and people worldwide are desperate to travel. However, the aviation industry cannot keep up due to severe labour shortages. Now, getting deeper into the idea of labour shortages, they are, as I'm sure you're aware, do not just stop at the aviation sector. While, of course, that is the focus here on the channel, given I do cover the aviation industry, this is a global problem that's not specific to any industry. Flyers are up everywhere, if you haven't noticed, asking for employees like we were some decades ago. It is most definitely a problem that needs sorting. However, with so many layoffs and so many people being pushed into retirement, there is a lack of people available in the labour force. With KLM increasing the cost of flying on specific routes, they're hoping that by doing this, it will deter people from flying and ease pressure faced widely across the board. But unfortunately, KLM is just one airline out of the hundreds that are experiencing similar difficulties, and there's no signs of things getting better. At least for now, I'd say we're still some way away before this can be resolved. Maybe in the region of a handful of months to where it gets back to an acceptable level. But the recovery from the shortages is not something that can be done overnight, especially thinking back to pilots, which naturally cannot be trained in the space of 1 week. What are your thoughts, though, on the situation at KLM? Not only are they having to cancel many flights on a daily basis, but also increase the prices of tickets, hoping to deter certain people from travelling on specific routes, because they simply can't cope at this point. Thanks to Jam, Don, Stefan, and Neil for being cabin crew members here on the channel. Enjoy what is left of your weekend, and I will see you tomorrow, Monday, for a new week.